on. So I've already gone over how TikTok collects your information. Now we're going to talk about how they're using it, okay? So how we use your information. We use the information we collect for the following purposes: to operate and administer the services, such as enabling you to create, share, and consume content, and to interact with others and with other users and their content, and providing user support. To review, support, improve, and develop the services, and train, test, and improve technology, such as machine learning models and algorithms, including by analyzing feedback, monitoring your activity and usage across the devices you use to access the services, and scanning, analyzing, and reviewing user content, messages, AI interactions, and associated metadata. They are collecting our information to train their AI models. Point blank, period. They are collecting our information to train their AI models. But we knew that already. They use the information to personalize and customize certain features and content, such as providing your For You feed and content creation tools. So they're like, look, we're collecting this information so we know what to show you. All right? Okay, what else? They collect the information to provide our shopping features and facilitate the purchase and delivery of products, goods, and services, okay? To promote our and third-party products and services through marketing campaigns, including communications, contests, and events. We may also use user content as part of our marketing campaigns with your permission. So, I guess when TT is having these campaigns and things, they will use actual users who are being successful, but they do that with their permission, right? But most of the other stuff, they don't need your permission. They can just do it. But let's get back to it. We use your information to provide and improve our advertising services and measure the effectiveness of the ads we serve, to support the social functions of the services, including to permit you and others to connect with each other. For example, through our Find Friends function, to suggest accounts to you and suggest your account to others, and for you and others to share, download, and otherwise interact with user content. We use your information to infer who's this? Invite who? Is this Logan? Is that Logan? Or is that Addison? Addison, you want to come up? If you want to come up, guys, please just, click the guest box and I'll bring you up, because we are just talking about what is actually happening in this TT neighborhood. Okay. Next. We use the information to infer informational addition about you, such as your age, gender, and interests. So the information they're collecting is like, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, sometimes you'll see ads and they'll, like, I'm a woman in my 40s, okay? And sometimes I'll see ads for that specifically say, are you women in your 40s? Da-da-da-da. This is how they know I'm in my 40s, because they're collecting that information. Okay, no problem. All right. Next, they use information to maintain and enhance the safety, security, and stability of the services by identifying and addressing technical or security issues or problems, such as technical bugs and spam accounts, and detecting abuse, fraud, and illegal activity. To verify your identity or age in order to use certain features, such as live stream or verified accounts, or in other instances where verification may be required. They are collecting information on you to make sure that people on here are, one, are real people, are not bots, and two, they are allowed to use the app. I just found out yesterday that they have a TT version for children under the age of 13. I didn't know that. You have to be at least 13 years old to have an app on this type of TT. But there is another TT that is for kids 13 and under. So they're using the information they're collecting here to make sure there are no underaged children on the app. Okay? Un momento, mommy, slow your tempo. What else? We use the information to communicate with you, including to notify you about changes in our services. We use your information to enforce our terms of service, community guidelines, and other conditions and policies that apply to you, and to protect the safety of our community and integrity of the services, including by scanning, analyzing, and reviewing user content, messages, AI interactions, and associated metadata. So they're saying, look, we can be all up in your messages. We can be all up in the videos, all up in your messages, all up in your content, to make sure that what is going on your account vibes with our community guidelines, to make sure you're not breaking any rules, okay? So they're like, look, we got 24-hour surveillance up in this piece. All right? It's 24-hour surveillance in the TT streets. All right? Okay. Next, we use your information to comply with our legal obligations and defend our legal rights and commercial interests and those of our affiliates, users, and the public. For any other purposes disclosed to you at the time we collect your information. They said, look, we collect your information for whatever we want. We'll tell you what we need it for when we collect it. Okay? We use your information to combine information we collect for any of the foregoing purposes, and we use it to aggregate or de-identify information we collect. Profiling. We do not engage in profiling which results in legal or similarly significant effects as defined under applicable law. All right? So that's how they use the information. Is anybody ready to hear how they share the information? Is anybody ready to hear how TikTok shares the information? If you are ready to hear how TikTok shares the information, please say ready. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. All right. Where's April? Hold up. Where's April? Who on live right now? Let me see who's live that I know. Not available. There ain't nobody going live. Wow. I know the people at TikTok are scrambling. Okay, so whether there's one person, no people, whatever, I'm going to continue this because I will be uploading this to my Red Rectangle app, okay? All right, how we share your information. We are committed to maintaining your trust, and while we do not sell your personal information or share your personal information with third parties for purposes of cross-context behavioral advertising where restricted by applicable law, we want you to understand when and with whom we may share the information we collect, okay, for the purposes described below. Please note this information disclosed to third parties may be processed in accordance with their privacy policies. So if they're sharing your information with another party, right, you got to figure out what is that other party's privacy policy, because it may not be the same as TikTok's, and you need to be aware of that. All right. Okay. So here, service providers and business partners. We share information we collect with service providers and business partners as necessary to help us perform business operations and for business purposes, including research, payment processing and transaction fulfillment, administering contests and special offers, technology services, delivery, sending communications, advertising and marketing services, analytics, measurement, data storage and hosting, disaster recovery, and search engine optimization. Example of such service providers and business partners include TT Commerce and Global Services LLC and its affiliates to facilitate a global and interoperable experience. We are not experiencing a global experience right now, girl, because the U.S. is down bad. And for other permitted business purposes. We only share specific categories of information consistent with applicable law, including Executive Order 14352 and any compliance obligations thereunder. Hold on a second. Let me look up real quick. Executive Order 14352. It's not fair. Please summarize. Executive Order 14352. Okay. Executive Order 14352, titled Saving TikTok While Protecting National Security. It aims to address national security concerns regarding the app's foreign control. Key aspects. The order targets the protection of American user data. There is a restructuring of ownership and, basically, Executive Order 14352 was the executive order when Tupe Fiasco had said he was taking down TT before. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Hey, Amina. Amina, I met you in admin's room. It's your birthday, girl. It's your birthday. I am going over the terms of service for TikTok and the different policies they have and how they affect you, because a lot of us, Toby. Yes, a lot of us are on here on the app. We don't understand how they're, what information they're collecting or how they're using it. So I'm on here explaining that to you. We are talking about the TT privacy policy. I already went over the information and how they collect it. They collect it from your phone. If you are somewhere and you check it and you say, put a location, they got all that information wherever you at. TikTok is okay. They know what device you're using. They know the program. They know your IP address. And then now we talked about how they use the information. If you want any of that, I will be putting this live on my red rectangle. I'm not putting any more substantive information on this app, period, point blank. So if you don't catch it live, you're going to have to catch it on the red rectangle. Okay. Now, moving forward, now we're talking about how they share your information. Okay. They share your information with service providers and business partners. They share it with payment processors and transaction fulfillment providers who may receive certain information, including third-party payment providers and processors. So they might have to provide your information to PayPal if that's how you're using to buy things in the TikTok shop. Okay, they got your PayPal information. Of course, you have to give it to them, but whatever. Customer and technical support providers who may receive. Okay. Well, hey, just stick around, girl. Are you serious? Customer and technical support providers who may receive certain information you provide. Okay. Advertising. They share it with advertising, marketing, and analytics partners. They share it with users of our analytics services who may receive aggregated statistics and insights to understand user engagement. For example, creators, advertisers, and sellers can receive information about the number of views, likes, comments. So those analytics that you can see about, when people are watching you, what time are they on, all of that is information that they're also sharing with other service providers. Okay. Third-party platforms and partners. So if you connect your TT to your Book of Faces or to your grams of in, who's that over there? Who is this? Nafis Unfiltered. If you connect them, they can get that information, and then they can share that information. Okay. All right. Now, they share within their corporate group. We may share information we collect with affiliates controlled by or under common control with TikTok US joint venture as necessary for the purposes set forth within this privacy policy. Okay. They may share your information in connection with a sale, merger, or other business transfer. So remember, it used to be TikTok Inc. and it was an Asian company, right? It was a Chinese company. And then they sold it to TikTok US. And they had to give all that information over. So if TikTok US, Amina, you can come up on the panel too if you want. Please don't feel like you got if you want, only if you want. But so if TikTok US decides to sell the app to another party, they are also going to be sharing your information with them. Okay. It's your birthday, girl. I can't stop singing that song now, girl. Every time I see your face now. Every time I see your name now. Okay. For legal reasons. For legal reasons, we may share information we collect to comply with the law, including to respond to subpoenas, court orders, legal process, law enforcement requests, legal claims, or government inquiries. We may also disclose information we collect to enforce any terms applicable to the services and to protect and defend our rights, interests, safety, and security, and those of our affiliates, users, or the public. Okay. So they said, if the po-po come knocking on our door and say they need the information, we're giving it to them. Okay. If it's a court, if it's a court thing and they say, hey, we need this information, we're going to give it to them. That's what they're saying. Okay. All right. It's your birthday, girl. It's your birthday. Okay. Oh, they will also, so it's, it can be evidence, girl. It can be evidence. All right. They share with the users and the public based on your privacy settings, your information, including certain of your account information, user content, and usage information may be visible to other users and the public. For example, if you have a public account and have not restricted the visibility of your posts individually, your account information and user content can be viewed or shared by anyone, whether or not they have a TikTok account, and may also appear on search engines, content aggregators, and news sites. You can learn about privacy settings, including how to limit the audience for your videos here. Please use caution in disclosing personal information. So if you have ever been, Googling something or researching something in a browser and you're trying to find a story out and then you see the links that come up to somebody's Instagram or their TikTok, that's what they're talking about. They're saying that, you can be discoverable on the Googles if your account is not private. Okay. Independent researchers, we may share certain of your information with qualifying research to facilitate independent research. So if you ever see somebody come out with a study on TikTok, please know that TikTok provided them that information. Okay. And also with your consent, we may share your information for other purposes pursuant to your consent or at your direction. For example, we may facilitate the sending of marketing communications to you by sellers, such as by sharing your email address. So if a brand is trying to reach out to you as a creator, and they're reaching out to TikTok, may share your information so the brand can reach out to you. Now, that's not a bad thing, right? There's pros and cons with everything. All right. Let's get to another one. Your rights and choices. All right, this is important because you do have options. Not many, but you got options. You may submit a request to know, access, correct, or delete the information we have collected from or about you here, or by sending your request to the physical address provided in the contact us section below. So you got to write a physical letter to these people if you want some information taken down. When's the last time you wrote a physical letter? You may appeal any decision we have made about your request through these same methods. If you got a problem, you better do it through snail mail. We ain't checking no emails. Through your in-app settings, you can directly update your account information, request a copy of your data, or deactivate or delete your account by following the instructions for deactivation here or deletion. We will not retaliate against you for exercising your rights and choices, although some aspects of the service may no longer be available to you. Listen, in the new terms of services, what they have said is even if you delete your account, delete all your posts, all of that. You may have deleted it from that, but they still have it on their servers. And because of the new terms of service, they can use it however they want forever. So whatever you have on the app right here now, even if you were to delete all of it today, TT still has it on their servers and they are allowed to use it legally. Okay, so even if you take everything off today, that does not prevent them from using it. Now, you can stop putting anything new on here, which is what I'm going to stop doing. I'm not putting anything, super substantive on here But anything that is already on here is theirs. Okay. Now this broadcast is theirs. They're gonna be, if they want to, they can take it and do something with it. All right. All right. Let's see. You may be entitled, in accordance with applicable law, to submit a request through an authorized agent to designate an authorized agent to exercise choices on your behalf. Please provide evidence that you have given such agent power of attorney, or that the agent otherwise has valid written authority to submit requests to exercise rights on your behalf. We will respond to your request consistent with applicable law and subject to proper verification. We will verify your request by asking you to send it from the email address. Okay. That's all to say, if, let's just say you hire someone, I don't know, let's say there's a smear campaign happening and you have hired someone to, help you take down whatever false information about you. Let's say you got doxxed or whatever. You need to let TT know that you have authorized this person to work on your behalf. They're not just going to give that person your information or allow them to do anything. Okay. They have more information about requests that we have received. You can control the information we collect and opt out of certain activities in the following ways. You may be able to control some of the information we collect by refusing or disabling cookies through your device browser settings. Because each browser is different, please consult the instructions provided by your browser. Please note that you may need to take additional steps to refuse or disable certain types of cookies. In addition, your choice to disable cookies is specific to the particular browser that you are using when you disable cookies. So you may need to separately disable cookies for each type of browser. So if you're using Firefox and Chrome and Microsoft Edge and Safari, you may have to go and deactivate the cookies on each and every one of those. Okay. Excuse me. Some browsers transmit do not track signals to websites. Because of differences in how browsers incorporate and activate this feature, we currently do not take action in response to these signals. Please be aware that if you choose to refuse, disable, or delete cookies, some of the functionality of the services may no longer be available to you. Without this information, we are not able to provide you with all of the requested services. So they said, look, you could limit our reach. You could say no cookies. You could do all of that, but don't expect to get full functionality of the app, okay? If you're not going to give us full access, you ain't getting full access either, is what it comes down to. Next. If you have a TikTok account, you can navigate to ads in your in-app settings to manage how your activity elsewhere online is used to serve you ads on our websites and apps. Using your in-app settings, you can also manage the ads that TikTok ad network serves you elsewhere online. If you don't have a TikTok account, you can manage the ads that TikTok ad network serves elsewhere online using a web form that they provide a link to, or through the ad notice that appears along with ads that are delivered by the TikTok ad network. Your device may have controls that determine what information we collect. For example, you can control whether we access your phone contacts in your device settings. So you can kind of control what type of ads you can see on TikTok, okay? You can do that in your in-app settings. That's what that is saying. It's your birthday, girl. It's your birthday. Okay. Next. Oh, you can opt out of receiving marketing emails by using the unsubscribe link or mechanism noted in those emails. All right. Moving forward, data security and retention. Okay. Data security and retention. We use reasonable measures to help protect information from loss, theft, misuse, unauthorized access, disclosure, alteration, or destruction. You should understand that no data storage system or transmission of data over the internet or any other public network can be guaranteed to be 100% secure. Please note that information collected by third parties may not have the same security protections as information you submit to us, and we are not responsible for protecting the security of such information. They said we're not responsible for any data leaks. It ain't our fault. Ooh, it ain't my fault. Did I do that? It ain't my fault. Did I do that? Okay. Next, we retain information for as long as necessary to provide the services and for the other purposes set out in this privacy policy. We also retain information when necessary to comply with contractual. Lucille, hey, you back? Hey, boo. To comply with contractual and legal obligations when we have a legitimate business interest to do so, such as improving and developing. You want to come up? I'm gonna invite you, such as improving and developing the services and enhancing its safety, security, and stability, and for the exercise or defense of legal claims. So they're saying, look, we hold on to your information just in case something happened, okay? Just in case, we're holding on to your information. Everything we learned about you while you were here on this app, we are holding on to it just in case. Just in case I don't make it home tonight. Where's Jaheim? Did he get his teeth fixed? Anyway, that's beside. Let me invite you. Do you want to come up? I know I keep inviting you. If you don't want to come up, it's fine. But you're like my human security blanket, Lucille. All right. Okay. Okay. The retention periods are different depending on different criteria, such as the type of information and the purposes for which we use them. For example, when we process your information, such as your account registration information to provide you with the services, we keep this information for as long as our terms of service, community guidelines, or other policies. We may remove you from the services immediately, but may keep information about you to process the violation. So if for some reason you get kicked off of the TT, that doesn't mean that they are letting go of your information. They're not going to delete. It's not like they're going to delete your file. They're actually going to keep your file so that they can learn from it and learn how to prevent this mess in the future. Okay? All right. Subject to applicable laws, we may transmit your information outside of the U.S. for purpose of sharing with recipients. All right, so they can share it with, people outside the U.S. All right, now we have a policy regarding children and teens. My parents. Lucille, you got kids, so this is for you. This is for you. This is for you. I need to get me one of them mics because I'll be on here doing entirely too much musical shenanigans to not have a proper microphone. Children and teens. The privacy of children is important to us. We provide a separate experience for users under age 13. Guys, there is a separate TikTok for people, for individuals under the age of 13, okay? We provide a separate experience for users under 13 in the United States in which we collect and process only limited information. Please see our children's privacy policy to learn more. We're not covering that today. We are just covering the regular privacy policy, and we're going to cover the community guidelines. If we become aware that a child's personal information has been collected outside of this separate experience for children, we will delete this information in accordance with applicable law and terminate the child's account. If you believe there's a user who is below the age of 13, please contact us. So they said, look, if we find out that somebody on here, that there is somebody on this grown-up TikTok who is under the age of 13, if we find that out, we will immediately purge their information. We are not keeping that, okay? They're like, look, we are not here to collect your children's information outside of what's going on the children's TT. But if we find out that there is a child on grown-up TT, we will delete their account and we will delete all of their information, okay? As a parent or guardian, you can As a parent or guardian, you can also request to delete the account of your child or to download their data by contacting us, and they provide the link. Depending on your state of residence, you may also have the ability to exercise these rights over your teen's account or to exercise other rights in connection with blah, blah, blah. We will address these requests in accordance with applicable laws. So I guess if you have a child who's over the age of 13 and they can use grown-up TikTok, you as the parent can request that TikTok limit your child's access to some of the things on TikTok, okay? Or the information. If you are a parent or guardian of a teen, our Guardian's Guide, Jesus, they have policies and guides for everything. Our Guardian's Guide contains information and resources to help you understand the services and the tools and controls you can use. Whew. All right, we are almost done, guys. Other rights, sharing for direct marketing purposes, shine the light. If you are a California resident, once a calendar year, you may be entitled to obtain information about personal information that we shared, if any, with other businesses for their own direct marketing uses. So if you guys know anybody, I'm sure there's plenty of people on here who live in the state of California, okay? Once a year, you can ask TT, who did you send my information to, okay? Once a year. It's like, when you get your free credit report, I feel like it's the same thing here. You get one free credit report a year. You get one free report a year in the state of California as to who TikTok gave your information to. Okay. Content removal for users under 18. Users of the services who are California residents and are under 18 years of age may request and obtain removal of user content they posted by contacting us at, in a provided address. All requests must provide a description of the user content they want removed and information reasonably sufficient to permit us to locate that user content. We do not accept California removal requests via postal, mail, telephone, or fax. We may not be able to respond if you do not provide adequate information. Please note that your request may not ensure complete or comprehensive removal of the material. For example, user content that you have posted may be published or reposted by another user. Users of the services who are Connecticut residents or are under 18 years of age, and parents and guardians of the services who are Connecticut residents under 16 years of age may request that we unpublish or delete their own account for users aged 13 through 17 or their child's account for parents and guardians with teen users under 16. So they are providing you recourses for, if you got a child over here on the grown up TT, they have all these policies for how you can, either get them off or restrict their access or, just get their information off of the app. Okay. Moving on. Next, privacy policy updates. We may update this privacy policy from time to time. When we update this privacy policy, we will notify you by updating the last updated date at the top of the new privacy policy. So the one at the top of this says January 22nd, 2026. Posting the new privacy policy or providing any other notice required by applicable law. We recommend that you review this privacy policy regularly to stay informed of our privacy practices. So they're saying, look, we posted all the rules. It's up to you to go and read them, okay? It is up to you to go and read the rules. You cannot, if you ever go to TikTok and say, well, I didn't know y'all were doing that, they're going to say, well, we had a policy about it. Why didn't you read it? Okay? And then they provide their contact information. If you have questions, comments, or requests, they have a mailing address as well as a web form. Okay? So that was the privacy policy. Do you guys want to go over the community guidelines? Would you guys like to go over the community guidelines before we end? Who's in here?